Bruh, I need a shave. Goddamn. Welcome back, guys, to Landa's House. It's Lyu-chan here, and we are back with another episode of Cooking on a Budget. It's been a long time since I posted one, but I decided to do another episode. Been busy with work and all that, so I wasn't able to do this, but yeah, I'm back. So a couple weeks ago, I posted on my personal Instagram about a pan roast. A lot of people asked me about it, saying like, how do you make it? Or like, say you should do a video on it. So yeah, why not? Let's do it. I went to the supermarket and got some cheap items on sale and show you guys how to make the seafood pan roast. I'm sure if you live in Vegas, you know Oyster Bar at Palace Station. I used to go there a lot to get their pan roast. Their seafood pan roast is, one day I just craved it, so I made my own. And I'm gonna try to recreate it again and see how it goes. All right, let's do this. Man, I suck when I film and cook at the same time though. All right, let's start with some vegetables real quick. Stuff that we're gonna be using: celeries, carrots, and onions. As you can see, mark off tags. I always look for these when I buy ingredients. For example, like celeries, super expensive in Japan, but I got this for half off. So by the way, guys, today I'm just gonna be making a pan roast for myself. Just a warning, probably not gonna measure anything out. It's not like I'm gonna come out with a recipe book or anything like that. So just gonna eyeball it, taste it as I go, and then see how it turns out. So first, you wanna wash all your ingredients. If you need to skin them, you gotta skin them and cut them into small pieces. I'm gonna use the leftover onions as well. I'm actually gonna use a 1.5 today since I like onions, so why not have more of what you like. Carrot, just wanna cut the ends. Let's do maybe inch and a half. Let's cut that just like this. I usually cut them into threes. Thinner parts, I might just do halves. And then right here, I'm just gonna start chopping them thinly. I'm gonna be cutting all the vegetables small, so you wanna match the sizes as much as possible. One carrot might have been too much, but it's okay. Just gonna put it to the side in the strainer, and I'll see you guys later. Make sure you get the end piece off, and you want to mince it, dice it, whatever you call it. Just small, so when you cook it, it's easy for it to cook. Size don't really matter. If you want more texture, I would say just keep it big. If you don't like texture, chop it up. Onion goes in. Actually, half onion might be enough. Let's cut a little bit more. Breakdown of how much I spent on today's pan roast or today's dish. Onions were 27 yen per piece. Carrot was 60 for 3. I used 1, so do the math please. And then the celery was half off. It was 60 yen as well. Before I tried this out, I definitely did my research on YouTube to see how to cook it. Go ahead and take a look at that before you guys cook. Don't follow my recipe. I don't have a recipe. I'm just cooking it my way. So yeah, if you guys want like a true breakdown, check out YouTube. What kind of video is this? Like, I'm telling people to watch my video and then telling people to watch other people's video. It just doesn't make sense. It's okay, whatever. You want to cut the celery small as well. I'm gonna put some slits in there and then cut them. You want to just use the stem portion of the celery. I'm not sure if it's cool or okay to put the leaf part, but I'm just gonna do it because no waste. I didn't like to waste any part of the food. Always use what you can. So I'm gonna use the leaf part as well. Is it gonna turn out good? I don't know. We'll see. Alright, so next up we're gonna be using a frying pan, and we're gonna cook the vegetables, I like to keep it in medium heat. That's usually good. And want to use butter. So butter is the only thing that I probably didn't get on sale. Butter is pretty expensive too, but we finally were able to get it. I feel like you should use a lot of butter if you want to make your pan roast very creamy and with more depth. I'll put those in first. I know it's kind of far from you guys, but I don't want to really move the camera, so please deal with it. Yeah, so I'm going to melt the butter first. Then I'm going to be throwing in all the vegetables together. Sizzle. Then you're gonna be cooking this until it softens. Probably gonna be about 10-15 minutes. Should be good. And yeah, I have the celery leaf separate because it's the leaf portion, so I think it's gonna burn if we cook it together with the other vegetables right now. So I'm gonna have it later. And while we're cooking this, we're gonna show you guys the protein that I'm gonna be using today. Normal seafood pan roast, obviously you use seafood. For example, the Palace Station one, they have a lobster pan roast. So it comes with lobster, crab meat, all kinds of gorgeous, flavorful seafood. But when you're on a budget, obviously I can't afford those kind of stuff. So today we're gonna be using these. I know it's blurry, don't worry about it. This is kamaboko, this is fish cake. It was half off, so I got it. This one was one of the deals today, so I got the asari clams with no shell. I'm gonna put those in as well. And these are fake crab meats. 149, 137, and I'm not sure how much this was, but it was half off and it was like 40-50 yen for the whole stick. So I'm going to be using those as the proteins. When you guys cook your pan roast, I'm sure you guys have your preference. Obviously, if you use lobsters and natural crab, it's probably gonna turn out better. If you're on a budget, any kind of seafood works. If you want to use what I used, it'll be fine. Shrimp or frozen seafood, you could definitely use those as well. I'm gonna be using some salt to put some flavor. Grind some pepper as well. You want to do this before you make the stew portion of the pan roast, so the ingredients actually get some flavor on it before you start simmering it and like boiling all the stuff with it. I'm gonna put some of the leaves inside and cook it with it. I'm gonna leave some leaf just for the last garnish on top. Once the vegetables are cooked and ready to go, you're gonna add some of the liquids. First, you need tomatoes. I'm gonna be using a tomato can because it's cheap and it's easy, very affordable. This can we bought for 70 yen. Since I'm gonna be just doing one portion, I'm gonna be just using half the can. I'm just gonna start pouring it in. Usually, pan roast, you wanna use heavy cream, but one, heavy cream is very expensive, or any kind of dairy product is expensive in Japan. And two, Ai-chan cannot eat dairy. We don't have that at home. Instead, we got soy milk. Soy milk, this one is the cheap brand that we bought. One box is 147. I'm gonna only be using like a little bit. Pour that in, boop, boop, boop. Looks good. And the last thing you wanna add in as the liquid portion is the broth. In this case, like you could use any kind of broth. Well, since we're making a seafood pan roast, you wanna use a seafood broth. A lot of people use clam juice, regular like fish broth or anything like that. Lobster broth, shrimp broth. So I'm gonna be using the bonito flake. This one, it's really strong, so I'm only gonna be using a small spoonful. Maybe like a spoon and a half should be enough. Usually pan roast, you use like paprika and stuff like that too, but I don't have that. Not gonna use it, skip that. Also, pan roast is usually thick. When I make mine, there's no like substance to make it thick, so I'm gonna be using cornstarch to thicken the soup as well. In my case, I'm just gonna toss the, oh my god. Oh my god. Woo! Woohoo! I'm gonna be mixing this with the broth, and I'm gonna be diluting this with water and pouring it in. I got it all mixed well, and I'm gonna be adding this in here later. Be a little bit more of the soy milk. So as you can see, my pan roast, it's definitely more chunky. I'm not gonna be cooking it for a long time or anything like that, but if you don't like the chunky pan roast, if you have like a hand blender, or if you have a regular blender, you can just toss everything in there and blend it together. So I'm gonna start improvising. since I'm lacking a lot of ingredients that was supposed to be in here. So I'm gonna be using what I got to make it as close to what it should taste like. First up, I bought this shrimp oil. Got it on discount as well. I never used this, so I don't know if it's spicy or anything like that. Ooh, yeah, it smells like shrimp. So it's supposed to be hot oil, so it should be spicy, but I'm gonna put a couple drips, give that shrimp flavor. Hope it turns out good, bro. And also, I'm gonna be using white wine, of course, discounted. If you don't have wine, it's okay. White wine or a sake would work as well. And also, if you have, I would recommend using oyster sauce. This is if you don't have like clam juice and stuff like that. I usually like to put this in. Once the pan roast is starting to boil, cook it a little bit, let it sit for a while, let the alcohol fly out from the wine. Then you're gonna start putting in your proteins. Clams, kamaboko pieces, and the fake crab meat. Guys, just remember, you don't have to be fancy and buy really expensive ingredients to make good food, you know. If you could find something similar, you could cook the same thing. Well, at least that's what I believe, so hope you guys understand. And last but not least, you want to put that broth. Since I used cornstarch, once I put it in, it's going to start thickening, but you want to put the broth. Make sure you just put the broth in before, add the thickening. I just did it together. I think it's the same thing, so yeah. Once you put it in, it's gonna start thickening. Lower the heat a little bit, let it simmer, and voila, there it goes. Thank you guys for watching. About that time for plating. Thank you guys for sticking around and watching me cook on a budget today. So yeah, it looks pretty good and it turned out pretty well, so I'm kind of happy. So yeah, like I said earlier in the video, of course you could use expensive ingredients to make your food good, but in my case, I feel like it's not about the price, it's really about how you could improvise and cook the way you want. You could pretty much make the flavor you want with other things. So if you guys want to try and cook your own pan roast, I feel like you should try it. It's really easy, it's not as hard as you think. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, I'm a little hungry, so it's time for me to eat. Like, subscribe, please share the video if you think people will be interested in this kind of stuff. But yeah, any kind of support would help. Thank you guys again, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye. Oh yeah, that's good. Maybe more broth would be better, but yeah, it's seafood pan roast right here. It's delicious.